In March of 2014, the producer of Wu-Tang Clan decided that it would be a sensational idea if the band recorded a 31-track album named Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. This album would come in a hand-carved box with a book filled with lyrics and notes about the songs. The catch was that they were only going to make one record, and they were only going to sell it to the highest bidder. Only when they finally announced that Wu-Tang Clan had sold the album, they didn't want to report to who they had traded it to. The question is, why? Why didn't Wu-Tang Clan want their fans to know who had received the album? Who was the person spending $2 million on such a prized treasure? For those who don't know, the Wu-Tang Clan was a popular hip-hop band made up of 9 members. Before this album, the band was losing momentum. So their producer RZA decided that the album would be the perfect idea to bring back the fame. The Wu-Tang album garnered a lot of attention from people, including millionaires, billionaires, and trophy hunters, and a 32-year-old business owner named Martin Shkreli. Shkreli's parents immigrated to Brooklyn, New York from Albania. As janitors, they worked hard to put their son through school. Shkreli was an extremely bright kid, idolizing scientists and skipping grades. He also loved music, and that would follow him into adulthood. While paving his way into Wall Street, Shkreli made a name for himself on social media. Twitter was a place where he could show his wealthy bachelor side. Shkreli loved to portray himself as a young self-starter who lived a life of luxury. He often posted photos of himself holding expensive wines and standing beside helicopters. On YouTube, he created live streams where he taught others how to analyze stocks, explained how drugs work, and often made comments about things happening in the world. His YouTube persona was his nerdy side. Viewers often saw him twirling in his chair, twitching, and talking fast as if he had some form of social anxiety while filming. It showed that he was relatable as a person, and he wasn't unattainable. Overall, it was hard not to think of Shkreli as a heroic rags-to-riches story. A poor boy with immigrant parents who eventually became a notorious hedge fund manager. It gave young people the idea that they could also become wealthy. Wall Street is famous for being the place where you can earn big bucks, and sitting at the top was Shkreli. But they say the higher you sit, the harder you fall. He had founded 2 hedge funds before starting Retrofin, a pharmaceutical company. During this time, Shkreli became controversial and liked to purchase cheap, lesser-known drugs to raise their prices significantly. In 2014, Retrofin purchased a drug called tiopronin. Tiopronin is used to treat cystinuria, a rare, painful kidney complication that creates kidney stones made of pure cysteine. Overnight, tiopronin jumped from $1.50 per pill to $30. Now, this is nothing new. Other pharmaceutical companies raise the prices of their drugs while putting them through new test trials and getting them reapproved by the FDA. The issue here is that Shkreli didn't do that. They purchased a drug and raised the price without trying to make the medication better in any way. But you know what they say, criminals tend to have a pattern, and we'll see that pattern soon. After some controversies with his employees, Shkreli left Retrofin, leading him to starting a new company called Turing Pharmaceuticals. In August of 2015, during the closing of the Wu-Tang album deal, it came out that Turing Pharmaceuticals had purchased the drug Daraprim and raised its price from $13.50 a pill to $750. Sound familiar? Daraprim is a drug used to treat toxoplasmosis, a rare infection caused by a parasite, the most common parasite in the world. This infection can lead to stillbirths and miscarriages, and it can also lead to blindness and even death for people with weakened immune systems. So when Shkreli raised the prices that high, it put pregnant women, the elderly, and people living with HIV at extreme risk of being unable to afford their medication. Shkreli claimed that he raised the price so that Turing could have more money to research other drugs that could help with toxoplasmosis. Looking at his past with Retrofin, it seemed more like an excuse than reasoning. So it's safe to say that the public was outraged. Shkreli became the most hated man in America. Presidential candidates like Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, and Donald Trump were even commenting on Shkreli's outrageousness. It made sense why Wu-Tang Clan didn't want to let fans know that the owner of their rarest album was a man like this. And just when Shkreli was at the height of his game, it all came crumbling down. In 2018, the board of Retrofin sued Shkreli for $65 million, claiming that he was mismanaging the company's assets and using the company's money towards his hedge funds. So the Wu-Tang album, the diaphragm price hike, and being sued by his old pharmaceutical company. August of 2018 was a busy month for Shkreli. Prosecutors claim that Shkreli defrauded millions of dollars from his investors and only repaid them using Retrofin stocks. They wanted a 15-year sentence minimum, arguing that Shkreli was a danger to the people and they needed protection from him. Shkreli's defense team thought that Shkreli had the potential to do good. They also claimed that he shouldn't be convicted just because of his reputation and past controversies. In the end, the judge sentenced Shkreli to 7 years in prison. Afterward, he was to have 3 years of probation and had to pay a $75,000 fine. When the jury gave the verdict, Shkreli cried dramatically, promising that he would start contributing to society. He said he wasn't a victim, and that the only one at fault was him. Shkreli also claimed that he didn't do it for the money. It's an interesting thing to say coming from a man who hiked up drug prices on 2 separate occasions. And if you're angry about the Wu-Tang album, don't worry. The government confiscated the album and sold it to a new buyer. Although they never announced how much money they made off the album, it's important to note that Shkreli's judge had ordered him to forfeit $7.4 million. She said that if he didn't pay, he would have to give up his Picasso painting, a Lil Wayne album called The Carter V, along with the $5 million Shkreli posted for his bail. The sale of the Wu-Tang album had repaid the $7.4 million debt in full. It shows that for a man still worth $70 million, $7.4 million is a slap on the wrist. While in prison, a journalist named Christy Smythe had come to interview him. At this point, she was the sole journalist at Bloomberg News to cover his story. After months of meeting up for interviews, Smythe had developed feelings for him. And once she saw emails exchanged between her and Shkreli in the courtroom, she realized that she couldn't provide an unbiased account of him anymore. She requested that Bloomberg give the story to a new journalist, and shortly after, she quit the company altogether. Smythe's husband was understandably upset, telling her she was throwing her career away over Shkreli. The fights got so bad that her husband suggested couples counseling to overcome their fights. Smythe admitted to being 52 minutes late to their first 1-hour session because she was visiting Shkreli in prison. Although the two attended multiple sessions afterward, their relationship inevitably ended in divorce. In December 2020, Smythe reached out to Stephanie Clifford at Elle magazine. She wanted to go public about her relationship with Shkreli, and Clifford suspected that it was because Smythe was looking for some sort of power in the relationship. After all, Smythe was at the beck and call of Shkreli. Smythe even admitted to Clifford that she remembered her professor telling her that she would ruin her life over Shkreli. When Clifford interviewed Shkreli for the article, he said he wished Smythe the best in life. Smythe stated that she knew what that meant, and she sat while Clifford practically gave her the breakup news. Even after the breakup, Smythe didn't regret her choices. Despite people claiming that Shkreli manipulated her, she doesn't believe he did. Although Smythe insisted that her life improved after meeting Shkreli, it's hard to imagine that as accurate, seeing how now she has to start over in a new company without the man she left her husband for. To talk about another slap on the wrist, Shkreli didn't have to fulfill his 7-year sentence. Back in March, they released him from prison due to good behavior. He's now in a New York halfway house, only having served 4.5 years. We expect his release to be on September 14th. The internet exploded when, on the same day of his release, a Twitter user found that Shkreli had created an account on Bumble. Being on a dating app solidified that he and Smythe are still not together and that he has no interest in rekindling that flame. Although he hasn't confirmed or denied this account being real, it's convenient that it was created on the same day as his release. According to Smythe, she still has feelings for him and has even frozen her eggs to have a potential family with him in the future. She bears no ill will toward him and sees a lifelong friendship between them. And if you thought the story couldn't get even better, buckle up. In July, Shkreli started an online company called Druglike. They barred Shkreli from being in the pharmaceuticals industry for the rest of his life, but he claimed he still wanted to help cut drug prices. Truly a character arc indeed. Druglike is a platform where drug companies can create hypothetical chemical compounds to create new potential drugs. Along with Druglike, Shkreli also announced his new cryptocurrency, Martin Shkreli Inu. That's right, Pharma Bro transformed into Crypto Bro. It started when Shkreli tuned into a Twitter audio event where he talked about his theories for what will happen in the crypto world. People thought he was very knowledgeable and welcomed him into the community. After his dramatic show during his sentencing, Christy Smythe raving about how he was a good guy and continuously talking about how he learned from his mistakes and wants to do good, people bought into it, literally. Then, on August 15th, Martin Shkreli Inu dropped to 90% of its value. Someone had sold more than 160 billion tokens, and the wallet that those tokens belonged to was none other than Martin Shkreli's. In the crypto world, this is called a rug pull. You wait until your coin is at a high price, then sell off what you have in your wallet, essentially tanking the value and leaving everyone else with the scraps. It's immoral, but not illegal, meaning it was the perfect resource for Shkreli to rebuild his fortune. Bloomberg News did reach out to him on Discord, and an account believed to be him claimed that he got hacked and that an investigation had started. While someone could have hacked Shkreli, it's also not likely. Remember that Shkreli is brilliant, especially when it comes to technology. He likely learned about the rug pull scam while he studied cryptocurrency in prison, and it wouldn't be shocking if it came to light that he pulled the rug himself. After seeing all the pieces, it's hard not to think that he didn't plan everything to make the people believe he was a changed man. After all, people do describe him as a master manipulator. And after watching him defraud investors, hike up drug prices, convince a woman to quit her job and divorce her husband, and potentially scam cryptocurrency users, it's hard not to believe it. Click to watch one of these next videos. And let us know in the comments section if you think pharmaceutical companies should be allowed to charge whatever they want for life-saving drugs.